Hello. In this video I'm going to run through the setting up of the standard documentation on the Redthorn system. By standard documentation I made things like delivery notes, invoices and purchase orders. I'm going to go through adding images to documentation, footers and headers, adding your own address, and also adding default text into all the different documents you can have to sign off documentation. I'll also quickly run through how to add text to email subjects and bodies. So I'm going to start by showing you a standard document as it comes out of the box. So this is a copy purchase order, and you can see straight away it doesn't have the company address, and it has some default text down here that we've given just to give you a guidance of where to go looking to change it. It's also got my personal profile sign off, which is linked to my user profile and has no images against it. So I'm now going to log into the root system and I'm going to change those details to personalize it to suit. And firstly, I'm just going to show you how to add in the company address, so you're producing the company address on the documentation. So I've gone into set central customer information, I've gone to option flag number 1, and I've just checked print company address. Close that down, log off, log back in as the user, and once I log back in I'm going to reprint the same purchase order, run it to the screen, and you'll see now I've produced my company address details. And it's worth noting that these company address details are being pulled out of set central information, so you need to make sure your address, telephone and fax is correct. And you can remove your fax as well in the set central company information screen. So now I'm going to change the default document text in the system. So I'm going to open up default document text, and this allows me to change the sign off of all the documentation with the system. You can see I've got the full list of documents, and for this example I'm going to choose the reprint purchase order, and I've got some new text just saved on Word to save me typing it. And if I'm just going to type it in there to the report text, that means that text will now output on every single reprint purchase order. And you can do that for all the documentation and have separate text for each. Now I'm going into the email area, and again, similar kind of theory, I can change the subject and the body for all of the emails or email documentation I'm sending from the system. So, I can just choose one of these, for example, print quotation, there's a good one. Change the text, change the subject, Redthorn quotation, change the body text, which I put please find attached a quotation as requested, and save that. And now when I use the email function to email a quote to a customer, that'll appear on the outgoing email. So that's the text done. Now I'm going to put logos and images on my reports to make them look more professional. Firstly, I'm going to tag the print logos and set central company information default settings. I'm going to turn in this instance the print company address off, and then I'm going to import the image. This will save users who don't wish to use headed paper. So this is all really around the usage of headed paper. So firstly, I'm going to add in a file, an image that's going to go on the top of my document. So that needs to be a square image that's going to go top right, and usually it'll contain the company logo and the address. In this case, I'm just bringing up a company logo, and I'm going to choose a footer image as well. As you can see, you can use most of the main file types, and I've just brought in a footer. I'm going to save that now, and so that's the system set up really. So now what I'm going to do is just check my print logos is good, check company address is saved, that's fine. I'm going to go back out of the system now and log in, and I will try and reprint my purchase order and see if those changes have affected. So log in as myself, reprint purchase order, which I have as a favourite, re-choose the purchase order, print it out. And now, all being well, I should have, there's my logo at the top, the company address is gone, you can see my please refer to redthorn.com for full terms and conditions has appeared, and also my logo at the bottom has appeared. So, in summary, I've added and removed the company information from the top of the standard documentation. I've added in proper sign-off document text. I've also added in logos to the header and the footer of the documentation and printed those and reviewed them.